Hi, I am Ipshita, first year CC student of IM Salt Lake. Welcome back to my coding channel named Coding Shooter. Now, in my last video, I had discussed about the variables which are used in C. So, we are just brushing up some theory before we get into the practical programs. So, this time we are going to start with operators used in C. Okay, so let's go.
So in the last video we had talked about variables, that is the things which vary and which are actually used in the programs like x, y, z, or many other variables like for example motor equal to something and many other things, like you can use words for variables. Now we are going to study another important element used in C, that is operators. Now what are operators? As you know that in mathematics you have used in lower classes plus, minus, into, divide. Here also operators actually mean the same thing. Mainly what are operators? Operators are basically some things which operate on a particular thing, that is a variable or it may be a constant, and give a particular output. For example, when you write 5 plus 2, then what is the result? 7. So here the plus sign, this is actually the operator which operates on the two constants 5 and 2 and gives you the output 7. Similarly, if you had taken suppose x plus y, now we don't know the value of x and y, so we have to assign some values. So that assignment part we will be discussing later. So suppose you write x equal to 5 and y equal to 2, and then you can also add them. So mainly operators are like this. Now operators are of some types. We are going to discuss the types now. First is mathematical operators. Now this you have already studied in maths in lower classes. So first is plus. Plus sign, you know that when you add two numbers or two variables which contain numbers, like you have taken input numbers into variables and then you are adding them, that is plus. Then also subtraction, minus, you can also subtract two values. Then into here you have to write it using the star sign, because into is not given in the keyboard in computer, that's why, while writing in C. And then you can also divide by using the by sign, because divide, that sign which you use in maths, that is not given in the keyboard, that's why you have to use the by sign. Okay, and then we are going to study a new sign that is called modulus. Modulus is represented by the percentage sign. This percentage operator, actually what it gives, it actually gives the remainder of a division. Suppose you are dividing 5 by 2. So what will happen? The quotient will be 2, but the remainder will be 1. So when you write 5 mod 2, that is 5 percentage 2, then the computer will give you the output 1. Understand? Now we are going to discuss the assignment operator. Basically equal to sign, this is actually the assignment operator. What it is used for? Basically suppose you are taking two variables x and y, as I already discussed before, and you want to add two numbers which you are taking in those two variables. So suppose you write x equal to 7 and y equal to 2, then you do printf x plus y. That is, you have to write it obviously in a code. I am just giving you the basic concept. So that will give you the output 9. So basically this equal to sign which you took at first, x equal to 7 and y equal to 2, that means the value 7 is assigned to x and the value 2 is assigned to y. That is the meaning of assignment operator actually. Okay. So lastly we are going to discuss about the logical operators. Now what are logical operators? Basically these operators are used for determining the truth or false of logical statements. Okay. Now first of all, there is double ampersand. This means the logical and operator. Now what is the logic behind this? That is, only if two or more conditions which are given, basically in if else statement which we will study later, if all the conditions are true, then only the overall statement will be true, and if any one of the conditions is false, then the overall then the overall statement will be false. Okay, like for example, if I say that if x greater than 1 and x less than 5, then print true, otherwise or else print false. Then suppose x equal to 1, then the condition will not be satisfied, so it will print false, not true, because any one of the condition is not true. That's why. Next we are going to study the double dash, that is the double vertical bar, that is basically the logical or operator. This means that among the conditions, even if any one of the conditions is false, then also the overall statement will be true. But if all the conditions given are false, then only the overall statement will be false, otherwise not. For example, suppose it is given if x greater than 1 or x less than 5, like I said in the previous example, but here we are writing or. Then what will happen, even if you write x equal to, suppose you wrote x equal to 3, then also it will be correct. But if suppose x greater than 1 but x is not less than 5, still also it will be correct, because any one of the condition is getting satisfied. But if x not greater than 1 and x not less than 5, then only the overall statement will be false, otherwise not. Okay. Next we are going to study the exclamation mark, that is the logical not operator. That means that suppose if your input is 1, then the output will be just the negation of the input, that is it will be 0, because 0 is the complement of 1. Alright, that's why. And next, lastly, we are going to study the double equal to operator, which is actually the operator which is used to check the equality of a particular statement. Suppose you're writing if x double equal to 5, it means that you are checking if the value which is assigned to x is equal to 5 or not. Okay, so the basic difference between x equal to 5 and x double equal to 5 is that for x equal to 5, it means that you are assigning the value 5 to x, but in the case of x double equal to 5, it means that you are checking if the value of x is 5 or not. So this is basically the difference between assignment operator and logical operator. Also, it is very important, so please note it. Okay, so that's all for today, and I am actually brushing up the theory for you, so that basically when we are going to start programs, then it will be easier for you. So thank you for watching until now. I'll be uploading again on next Saturday. Thank you very much.